Oh, hello, and welcome back again so soon to this episode of the Road to Redemption podcast with your grateful host, Cam Williamson. Feeling good, just got done with a workout, happy to see you guys again. I'm here for a short time and a good time. I just want to give you guys this little, piece of insight that I got the other day while I was playing with my kid, and I thought, man, I wish I'd have thought of this 10 years ago. Right? I've always been pretty good about playing with my kids. I have my limits of things that dad doesn't like. Mainly bugs and dirt and shit is not my forte, for real. But the other day my kid asked me, "Dad, will you come with me and dig this hole in the yard?" And I go, "Yeah, fine." I'm trying harder to say yes if I don't have a safety reason as to why not. If I can look at the situation and see that it's safe, there's no reason why I can't join in, right? Yes, let's go dig holes. So we're digging this hole, and she's telling me about everything that she's hoping to find, treasure and bones. And I asked her, I said, "Well, if we dig far enough, where do you think we're going to go?" And she goes, "I don't know, maybe outer space." I'm like, "That's not really how that works, but you're 5, so, I get it." But then I had this weird flashback to when I was a kid hanging out with my buddies, Griff and them, back when we were real young. And I remember we spent like this entire day with shovels out in the backyard just digging a hole. And we were convinced that we were digging to China. Convinced. And I remember the day we had. Like, I remember thinking, like, dude, we put in this work. We're about to take one jump and funnel ourselves right into China. What are we going to do when we get there? We don't know. We don't even really know what China is. We're just kids, right? So, like, I saw the innocence of my daughter, and every single time she kept going, she'd hit a rock or something and be like, "Dad, look, it's a bone." Now, my daughter's a little dark, so she'd be like, "Dad, look, we're going to find a skull." And I'm like, "Hey, man, you don't really want to find a skull. Like, that's not a good thing to find." But you and the internet, I get it. Like, y'all are weird. They like really dark shit now. So even some things that for me, I'm like, "Yo, what?" And I like a dark thing, but for me, I'm like, "What are you watching?" So everyone watch your kids. But the lesson in this is simple. Return yourself to your innocence. Let yourself, for a minute, not take yourself so damn serious. And I know I'm swearing a lot. I'm sorry. I'll try not to. Don't take yourself so serious. You can't get your hands dirty with your kids. You can't play make-believe. And I've been so bad about this in the last few years especially, which is like, I am raising a little savage for sure. She's awesome. She's the best. She has the sweetest, kindest heart, and she's funny and everything like that. But I think I have sheltered her so much that sometimes now, like when she's having fun, naturally, like when she's digging a hole, I would have been like, "Well, you're not going to find treasure here, right? Like, just so you know, I don't want you to get your hopes up. Like, we can dig this hole." And I'd be like, "Man, why am I doing that? Why am I killing her innocence like that? Like, let her be. Let her be a kid." And ever since, I've been trying to be more cognizant of like, yo, you don't have to, because you're having a hard time finding happiness right now, then, and because you're having a hard time finding reasons to laugh and finding positive thoughts and positive ideas in your head, don't put that on your kids, man. Don't walk around like this sad sack that just, reality this, reality that, reality this, reality, well, you better get ready for it. It's like, man, you know what most of us over the age of like 25 would kill to do? Go back and be a kid. And like, as much as I hated school and stuff, but you know what I would do? You know what I would do? To have those in-between times of classes where you're kicking it with your buddies in the hallway, or like you were a kid and you were playing just to play. You were out on your bike, not trying to, do anything for anybody. You weren't trying to pay a bill. You weren't trying to hustle. You weren't trying to whatever. It was like you weren't trying to project this image. You were just being a kid. And man, oh man, like, especially when you get into substances as an adult, and you guys know I'm going to talk about this, you start digging different types of holes, right? Negative ones. Sure, your imagination is still running, but it's usually on who can I sleep with? Who can I impress? You know, how much money am I going to blow? Like, all this stuff to fill the void of the fact that you lost that innocence. You lost that happiness. You lost the ability to be able to sit and enjoy a movie without being on something. You lost the ability to take a walk without being like, no, this is cool. And I forget all the time, man, like people that have been in jail before, I don't care if you spent 24 hours in lockup or you spent a year or whatever you did. For the right people, that will make you so grateful. And I've said this so many times on this podcast, but I need to say it again to remind myself. It will make you so grateful every day that you have your freedom and are able to walk outside, see some trees, hear some birds, not have to ask permission to use the bathroom or take a shower or when can I get my meals. Like, we take so many things for granted when we have the freedoms to do whatever we want. And then we give ourselves so many excuses as to why we are not doing the things that we ultimately know we should be doing, or to keep us out of situations like that, or to keep us happy and to keep us healthy. Like, so many of you that are listening to this show today, right now, I guarantee you know at least one choice you could make today that would ease a lot of stress from your life. There's a text you could not respond to. There's a message you could just delete. There's a coworker you could avoid. There's time you could put in. There's the decision you could make to not do that one thing today. And I promise you, your life will drastically change. Am I sitting here as a televangelist promising you that if you do one thing today, that $1 million will be deposited in your bank account tomorrow, and that kid who you have an estranged relationship with is going to call you to tell you that they love you? No, but they might call you from experience. When people see that you're different, now, because now you've shown up. You didn't just say something, but now you said it and did it, not just once. That's the hard thing. And for people like me, going back to 3 episodes ago, people like me, sometimes it's tough because it is so hard sometimes to get that ball rolling again, that if there's not a lot of positive feedback, whether I can go and buy myself a little treat or people are telling me they're proud of me or whatever the situation is, sometimes it's hard to be like, well, what the hell is even the point, man? Like, you know, and that's just being real and human with you guys. But when you start thinking like that, like, what the hell is even the point? That's where you're picking up that shovel again, but as an adult, not as a kid. And I'm not saying to deal with all, your daily life with the mindset of a child, but stop taking yourself so serious. That relationship you're not supposed to be in, man, don't be in it. It's not that serious. It's really not. Yeah, you're going to have some uncomfortable conversations, and you're going to have to make arrangements, and you're going to have to do things. Do it. That job that is killing you every single day, that you know is no good for you and is barely good for your pocket, find another one. Are you going to be able to do that tomorrow? Probably not. But if you start looking today and actually put the interview out there, or update your resume, or get on, ZipRecruiter, or whatever the situation is, do it. Call someone and be like, hey, man, what you do? I really like that. Is there an opening at your business? Is there a place I could get in there? If you're having trouble in the dating game, go out. Not to bars and shit. There's nothing good going to happen there. But, go do shit. Like me, if you want to train, go train. You'll meet people there. If you like to paint, go to an art gallery. You'll meet people there. Pottery's been something that I've always said, like, I would kill to just go learn how to do that shit for a minute. I remember, sorry, I'm swearing again. That I like doing that when I was a kid in school. Remember in art class, they would let you like make your own bowl and stuff like that for a day or like a week of pottery or whatever. That was always dope. And I thought it was really relaxing and stuff like that, man. Like, go and do stuff. If your woes are you're sitting around the house by yourself all the time, well, get out of the house. And it's crazy with, just about a week of sobriety under your belt now, but under my belt, but you think about it like this, and it really can be this simple. Now, again, I know people that it's not this simple. Physically, it's not this simple. But if it is, if you're not in an active situation where like stopping right now could physically hurt you, possibly kill you, you can make the choice that I don't want to wake up feeling like garbage tomorrow. So for tonight, I'm going to try something else. Try something else. Go for a walk. Make yourself join a gym and then go do a workout. Even if it only lasts an hour, just do something else. And then when you get done from that 30 minutes or whatever you were able to make it, do something else. Make dinner instead of ordering it because now you're 4 sheets to the wind and, now it's not worth starting a fire in your apartment because, you're hammered. It's like, no, man, do something else. What do you want to do? One thing I forgot? I know how to read music. It's crazy. I learned how to read music when I was a kid. Still know how to do it. I can read music. I can read drum tabs. I can read stuff like that. Can't play a guitar. Can't play a piano, but I know how to read it. It's like, man, I should do something with that. I've always said I wanted to learn sign language. I think that's a really cool thing that if you're in a situation where someone needs to be able to communicate and there's no one that can, to be able to be like, is there a doctor on the airplane? Be like, no, but I can speak sign language. You know what I mean? It's just stuff like that. And that takes doing things. You got to look up a class. You got to go to that class at a local college or something that they probably offer for free if you're not a member or something. There's things you can do. And then when you start doing those things, I started skateboarding for whatever it was, 3 years ago or whatever. And I got too banged up because I'm getting too old for that garbage now. And I'm just not good enough at it to get hurt like that. But again, I found my childlike innocence again. And that's why I started believing that great things were possible. And I started chasing my dreams and I accomplished some of them. And then, I fell short again and I lost a lot of them. And, it's like, that's the way life works. But if you keep digging a hole one way or the other, you can keep digging in that imagination hole and that dream chasing hole and that I'm going to give this life everything I got hole, which is what you're doing as a kid. You think as a kid, you're thinking about how bad your back's going to hurt in the morning or the blisters you're getting on your hands or all that. You're not. You're just going, mind, goal, I'm trying to get to China. Dig, 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 dig. As an adult, you go, all this shit that's weighing me down, here's the reason I should just start digging my own grave. And then around the age of 30 for most of us, you start going, man, so afterlife thing don't sound that bad because this whole present life thing sucks. Sucks. Hot garbage. A lot of the time. But then you realize, and I'll end it with this, when you try to do life your own way all the time, without finding any structure, stability, no one to check you on your bull, that loves you, that wants to see the best in you, that knows the best in you and wants to be there for it, life's going to get a little crazy. It's going to get a little unmanageable. And that's one of the things that I hope a lot of young people find this, man. I remember I remember the first day in my first apartment. And I remember how fast all that went off the rails because I was never really parented as a kid. So when you're 18, well, I was barely 17 when I went out. But so then on the first day on your own, you go, I can do whatever I want. No one can tell me nothing, right? Well, that's great for a week. You could do it for a month. Can you do that for a year? No. There's bills, there's responsibilities, there's stuff like that. And I remember just thinking man, how in the hell do people do this? How do y'all do this? How do you have a good time and pay your bills all the time? That don't make any sense to me. I'm out on my own. I can have a good time. I can do whatever I want. But man, they're shutting this light off. Help. Somebody help. No one told me that life was gonna, no, I'm not gonna start singing the Friends song. I'm not. It's up here, though. Remember. Screw you guys. You know you did it too. Guys, that's it. I'm done. I'm done ranting. I got stuff to do. I got a place to clean. I got things going on. I love you guys so much. Thank you for everyone that watched the live premiere. This one will also be premiering. Hopefully not as late. It was like 7:30 on a Monday. I know that's late for everyone. Hopefully I'm talking to you guys somewhere around 5:30, 6 o'clock tonight, which is Tuesday, yes? I think it is. I love you guys so much. I'll see you in the next one.